Hello, and welcome to Married to Cinema. I'm Brian.
I'm Whitney,
I love movies.
and I usually don't.
So, here we go on this review, which we revealed to you last week was White Chicks.
Woohoo! He pulled from my movie bag and he got White Chicks, which is crazy because I forgot I put it in there, but I enjoyed watching it with him.
And I had originally tried to watch this movie about 15 years ago and turned it off because I couldn't stand it. That was 15 years ago, so now we go and review the film. So would you like to tell them about the plot, my lady?
Sure. So, sorry, I am old.
She's a little sleepy.
I'm old. This is my bedtime.
It's close to her pumpkin time. It's alright.
It's literally like 9 o'clock Eastern Pacific, but like I'm falling asleep. Alright, so White Chicks. If you've not seen this, Marlon Brothers.
The Wayans Brothers.
What did I say? Marlon
You
Brothers.
said Marlon. It's
His
Marlon
name
and
is
Sean
Marlon.
Wayans.
Marlon and Sean Wayans. Thank you. I knew what I was trying to say, but it wouldn't come out. Anyways, those guys. They are playing two FBI agents who are kind of disgraced because at the very beginning you open with this sting and like a little bodega sort of store.
Yeah, it's like a little ice cream bodega.
Yeah, and they really screw it up. You get the idea that they screw up a lot, so they get put on like kind of like desk duty. They kind of push to get put on this new assignment with these two twins, the Vanderbilt twins, I think is their name, and they really, really want to be on it. So they get the task of taking the girls to the Hilton for, like, I think it's like a fashion weekend. It's supposed to be like the Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. They're escorting them there to the hotel.
Which is like the crap job. Nobody wants to do that, but they have a little...
Basically, they're going to be surveillanced by the FBI.
Yeah, there's a... they think there's going to be a kidnapping plot against these girls, so they're watching them. There's a little car accident. Nobody gets majorly hurt on the way there, but the girls sustain a couple, like, small face injuries.
Which, to a white girl, is huge. And that is where the film's plot kicks off, is that this is a major deal. I can't go out like this.
So, these two guys, these two black FBI agents go undercover without permission from their boss as two wealthy white girls, sisters, blondes.
They don't want to screw it up again,
yeah.
So they try to...
And they're going to foil the plot from the inside is the concept
Yeah.
to kind of like regain their footing in the FBI, would you say?
They go deep undercover with the help of a friend of theirs who works a lot in prosthetics and that kind of thing to make them look like these two girls.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's the premise.
And from there, they have to blend in with these two sisters, friends, and everything. And one of them, the Marlon Wayans character, gets hit on profusely by this rich athlete played by Terry Crews, who just won't take no for an answer.
Hence the very famous gif of Terry Crews, da 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 da, and I need you, da 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 da, and I miss you.
Which could easily be a scene in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but it's from White Chicks.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so what? So, okay, when you told me to put my bag of movies together, you said 3 comedies. And this always sticks out to me as, like, just funny. This movie is just funny. It's horrible. It's horrible. I'll admit to you. The plot is terrible, okay? They perpetuate a lot of things, a lot of false stereotypes. The jealous black woman, the hoity-toity white chick, the, sort of...
Well, to counter
things
that,
like that,
I will say, making any white stereotypes is not hurtful. And the black stereotype angle, given the fact that it's written and directed by the Wayans brothers, I think that it's okay because they're kind of satirizing their own demographic.
That's their whole thing.
Which is what they've always done.
They do.
Going back to In Living Color, this is what they do.
Yeah, hence why it's comedy to me. Like, yes, we don't need to have any more angry black women as stereotypes in movies. We don't need any more rich white blonde women freaking out.
The one angle that kind of rubbed me the wrong way was like some homophobic jokes here and there that I was like, ooh, that hasn't aged well. There are moments where it hasn't aged well, where it gets on that, and also like kind of rapey jokes, not outright, but semi, and it's just they wouldn't go over well in this era necessarily.
Oh, if this got released right now, it would go direct to Hulu flop.
It would probably be a Netflix original.
I was going to say, actually, it probably wouldn't even make it to Hulu.
Marlon has a deal with Netflix, so this would be a Netflix original. And
but it's funny though. Like, there's so many moments of just it's so ridiculous that you can't help but laugh. And you got a couple laughs out of it. I saw you snicker a little.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous that it makes you laugh. They're just, I don't know, and there's so many lines that get quoted consistently. I'm gonna have a BF. The writing the letter, I am a white woman in America. Like, writing the letter to the manager. Like, that's hilarious. That's so funny.
That wasn't bad. And I will say, like I said, I alluded in the previous episode that I hated this movie and turned it off. It was the first movie I turned off. As I mentioned previously, like I said, that was 15 years ago, so going back and watching this again, I appreciate it much more. I still think it doesn't live up to all of the hype and pop culture phenomenon that surrounded it, because it's, as Whitney has mentioned, it's referenced a lot, but I think it has a lot of good moments. Would you like to mention a parallel you saw, or do you want to save that?
Only my squirrel brain would pick this up, so you make your comments and I'll...
Well, okay, so, to me, Whitney made the comment earlier on, while we were watching the film, that this is, like, it's just such a Wayans Brother movie, and I was thinking, like, I feel the opposite, even though it's directed by Keenan Ivory and written by and starring Sean and Marlon.
And co-written by Keenan Ivory.
Yeah, I'm sure he co-wrote it too. Yeah, he tends to. Interestingly enough, the only one that Keenan Ivory didn't really have as much of a hand in was Don't Be a Menace, which surprised me, because I don't know. Anyway, I really thought this was watered down Wayans Brothers, but I think that was due to its rating. I guess we just watched the PG-13 cut, so I'm not sure how much the unrated cut differs, but this one, it felt watered down, but I'm not sure. When you're making an R-rated movie, you're making an R-rated movie, and there's not really much you can do to turn it into a PG-13 with this kind of comedy. Like with an action movie or a horror movie, there are edits you can do to turn it to PG-13. With a broad, raunchy comedy, you can't really do much. Therefore, I'm wondering, like, the unrated probably just features additional footage and maybe some extra cursing, but it still felt watered down. Like, it felt like they were kind of, like, playing off, like, the classic Wayans humor that we've come to love from In Living Color. And then they made a name for themselves with the parody work of Don't Be a Menace to South Central and the first two Scary Movies, which
I was gonna say,
I think are all brilliant and hilarious. Oh, and Keenan Ivory doing I'm Gonna Get You Sucka, and Keenan Ivory branching off from that, Low Down Dirty Shame. So much great work, and so funny. Low Down Dirty Shame isn't as unhinged as the Marlon and Sean films, as I'm speaking of first two Scary Movies and Don't Be a Menace. And that's why I was surprised Keenan Ivory didn't have as much to do with Don't Be a Menace, because he directed the first two Scary Movies. But those were just so out there and raunchy and just broad, and they really went for it. Like an In Living Color sketch. This one played it safer than I expected. which I guess they were just trying to play in the studio system. They were offered money and they went for it. I imagine the original script or their original intention had to be like broader than this, and it had great moments, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they could have went even further and made this whole thing, the whole conceit even more absurd. And that is my main thing. It's like it has some good moments, but I just wanted it to go even further.
Okay. I mean, I don't disagree with you, especially, I mean, I haven't seen as many of the Wayans Brothers films or seen them in as many things as you have. I have seen them in the scary movies. I have seen some of in living color, like a few things here and there, sketch-wise, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, what did you say it was called? Haunted House?
Haunted House, the Marlon Wayans film.
First one, not the second one. I've seen things here and there. The one that you said the name of the first time that you thought I was asking about. You said it came out in 2007.
Little Man.
Little Man. I've seen those. I agree this wasn't as raunchy. However, or as unhinged, or however you want to pose it, right? It was a little more cleaned up. It was a little tamer. But
it's tame. Very tame. And
it's
not as absurdist as their parody work.
It was just enough absurdity for me that it wasn't like, I gotta turn this off, it was freaking ridiculous. Like, it rode the line for me, and you gotta think, I'm pretty mainstream, right? I'm gonna watch the TBS cut, is TBS even in business anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know.
In fact,
of the movie.
I will allude to TBS later.
Okay. I'll watch that television cut version of something, and I don't care. And I know it can't get but so bad because it's on TV. Like, I am your average Karen that's like, yeah, that's just enough.
And the most, syndicated television can really do is bleep out the N-word, which is very right for them to do, and in fact, I think kind of enhances the experience given the whole, conceit of the film. I think that would even add another layer to it, honestly. But yeah, I wouldn't see an issue with this one being censored.
This one's on TV all the time. This is where
I've seen
saw this.
I remember we were at the beach one time and I came down, you were watching it.
Oh yeah, I don't even remember that.
It was on VH1, I think.
I don't even remember that. It's one of those movies though, when I see it on TV, I just click it on because it's mindless, it's funny, and even though we were pointing out a lot of clear watermarks of, wow, this happened in 2004.
Yeah, it's very much a product of its time.
It's still good, though. Even though it is outdated in a lot of ways. Their clothes kill me. I mean, Brian knows that when I watch something...
she was constantly on about it.
Well, and a lot of times when I watch something, I feel like I'm on about the clothes. I feel like I have things to say because I like clothes, okay?
She's a bit of a fashionista.
I like clothes.
A little bit.
And makeup. I know I always wear a sweatshirt on here. It's late. We do this at night. I look better in the daytime. But, do the clothes. They were so incredulously, Hilary Duff, Britney Spears, early 2000s butterfly hair clips sort of situation. The corsets in the fashion show, every outfit had a corset with a ribbon string. I was dying. I was like, this is so dated.
It's very much also Paris Hilton. You forgot to mention that one. Paris Hilton with the little dog in the bag.
The dog in the bag. The whale tail
Hilton.
G-string where, you can see their whale tail at the back of the G-string popping out of the little pleated schoolgirl skirts. The pleather. So much pleather. The short strap purse. I could go on. But anyways, that dates it, but also it doesn't take away from it for me. It's still funny. The jokes still land. The jokes are still good.
Yeah, and I think there's even a line towards the end where they made a Pulp Fiction reference. I can't remember the exact line they made, but it was a reference to the Gimp scene Pulp Fiction where it's get me a flamethrower and chainsaw. But they made some comment which they kind of delivered in the same way to that line as Marcellus Wallace did in Pulp Fiction, where I could tell they were making a subtle homage, a reference to that, and I thought that was really clever.
But then there are a few things in there that really timestamp it, other than the clothes too. They make the comment about Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez that you caught.
Oh yeah, they talk about Ben and J-Lo, and I'm like, this shows its age right there.
Right there.
Wow. But I love how all the actors and everyone just commit to their role in this film. They really go for it, especially Terry Crews. Terry Crews is always fun to watch in everything. This, Idiocracy, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, anything with Terry Crews, he will be entertaining in. And he's just a marvel. I love him. And he really sells his role in this, especially the scene where he's wine and dining the one white chick, played by Marlon Wayans.
Brittany.
Yeah, and that's a really good scene where she is just making up every excuse for Terry to not be attracted to them, ordering like the most expensive dishes with the most like smelly
like,
foods, like onions and sauerkraut and everything.
Vinegar to dip her French fries and
and then he just responds by showing her his tongue, which is a little like too much. But then like it follows up with Brittany unbuttoning her pants just to let her gut out, and he's like, "Oh, I like it when it's a little more cushioned."
Yeah.
And then
goes
Marlon,
for it, man.
And then Brittany responds by farting. He goes, "Ooh, yeah." So he farts too. So then he starts farting, and that's the joke, and
he goes for it.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good the way they deliver it, because it's not like a farting contest. No, you get the idea.
Challenging me?
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo.
You get the idea of it without them like just shoving it in your face, which I appreciate as well, and it's done well. Meanwhile, the other brother, played by Shawn Wayans, I'm blanking on all the names of the characters right now. Tiffany, do you remember the brother's actual name?
Marcus and... I don't remember the other one. One's Marcus. Marcus is the one with the angry wife.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the other one, Shawn Wayne's character, meanwhile, is pretending to be Terry Crews' character and showing this woman his, like, really nice house, and it just goes horribly wrong with the dog when the dog gets out, and he's just trying to play it off like, "Oh, no, he always does this," like, he locks on the door like, "Oh, no." And it's... the conviction they play with it is just, it really works for this film, and it works their charm. Like I said, my main complaint is that I love their parody work so much that this one isn't as absurdist as I would have wanted from the Wayans family doing a movie making fun of white women.
Sure,
I
because that's what it is,
them to
which
go
is why
further.
it's so funny that's been so embraced by pop culture. Because 95% of the people I feel like I see, that's an arbitrary number, that I see comment or share or reference this are white women. The same white women that would be like, "Don't call me a Karen."
I guess even they have a sense of humor.
So, alright, are you ready for my crazy parallel?
Let's go for it.
Okay, hi, I have a squirrel brain. I get on these weird little tracky tangents and then I can't let them go, okay? You've seen Mulan.
Of course.
Cartoon, Mulan from Disney in the 90s, Szechuan sauce, Rick and Morty. Okay, so, squirrel brain. This movie... Okay, alright, let me back up a little more. I thoroughly believe there are multiple strands of the same universe. You know this. Like, I very much believe this. I have a good friend who's also named Whitney that dates his brother, and we have, like, so many weird crossing things, even to the point where we, like, look like each other. I believe there are different strands in the universe. This is Mulan...
String theory.
Yeah, string theory. String theory.
Yes.
This is Mulan in a different universe? Come on. They dressed up as the opposite gender.
Intergalactic television.
Intergalactic television!
This is Mulan and it's white chicks.
But they dress up as the opposite gender, the opposite sex, however you want to track that, right? In order to complete a task. Now, no, they're not going to war for their father, but they are fighting for their honor to be staying in the FBI, right? Okay? They go through all this crazy thing. Now, Mulan, oddly enough, the cartoon Mulan is much more serious than this premise. But, at the end, there's a kidnapping plot that involves a Chinese dragon That's how they get the Emperor in Mulan.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. That's how they get the
That's
Emperor
right.
in Mulan.
She saw that, and that's when she was like, "We are doing this review."
I was like, I have to talk about this. That's how they get the Emperor. They use the big Chinese dragon, like several manned puppet thing, and they get the Emperor, and that's how they steal him. In this, that's how they get Tiffany and the wrong Brittany. They get the wrong Brittany, but still, or the wrong Tiffany. They get one of the sisters and one of the Wayans brothers. But it's the same thing. They use a big dragon with people under it, and I was like, what is this? And then at the end of Mulan, the Emperor is scolding her, right? She's like, you destroyed my palace and my country, and then he's like, Gigi's in front of the camera. And then he's like, you have saved us all. And at the end of this movie, the man that we just looked at his name, he plays the police chief.
Frankie Faison.
Frankie Faison comes out and he's like, you put out thousands of dollars of damage. You went on a mission without permission, but you got the right man. And I'm like, is this the same movie? It's the same movie. String Theory, White Chicks, Mulan, case closed, I'm done.
And I love that it's Frankie Faison, because we just rewatched recently the John Landis film The Stupids from the mid-90s, which is a personal favorite of mine. Super underrated, but Frankie Faison showed up in there as the Lloyd, or the Lord, however you want to pronounce it.
So
anyway,
it's
it's fun to see him again, because I'm like, I know that guy. Who is that? It's Frankie Faison, who always blends in. He's a great character actor. And yeah, I was wondering when we were watching this, like, man, what's Keenan Ivory been up to since this? But then I remembered, oh wait, he and Robert Townsend, his old buddy that he used to make movies with, like Hollywood Shuffle, and they worked together on, I think Robert Townsend worked on Low Down Dirty Shame. They worked together several times. They have been working on The Last OG, the series on TBS.
Okay, you like that
which
show,
I've been watching a lot. TBS is still alive, and The Last OG
Okay.
is one of the shows that they're airing, and it's a great show. The Keenan Ivory Wayans is working on that for Robert Townsend, so if you're ever, like, missing that duo, check that show out. It's great. I love it.
So rate it.
Rate White Chicks. I do appreciate a lot of the jokes, but it doesn't really go to the lengths I want it to for a comedy, but it still hits enough marks for me to give it a passable score.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Okay. I was going to give it a 7, because it's not good, but it's funny. It's not good, but it's funny.
I expected higher from her.
I will tell you when we get to a good film to me. This is funny.
Well,
I have appreciation for a lot of movies.
Last time we got to a good film, apparently. She gave it a 9.
That was pretty good. There's only one movie I've ever seen that would score a 10. Like I said, when we get there, y'all will know. But that would be my rank. 7, because it's super funny and it's enjoyable.
Yeah, and if you like the Wayans Brothers,
check it out.
Check it out.
If you want something that's not going to take a lot of brain matter, check it out.
If you want nice, fun, dumb comedy, check it out. If you want something that just makes fun of white people, check it out.
Yeah, it is really funny.
Also, the dad, John Hurd from Home Alone, he's in it.
Yeah.
I won't say anything about his character, but the dad from Home Alone, he's in it. And Chud for you horror fans.
So
now Whitney is going to pick a movie from my bag.
Not nearly as exciting.
Just
kidding.
Due to an issue before, a couple of mine may have been lost, but that's okay. We're
gonna
roll with it.
GG.
Yeah, we're gonna roll with it and figure it out as it goes along. But in the meantime, she is going to pick a movie of my choosing. What will it be?
Okay, what will we watch next? The next thing we will watch is something I can't get open. Collateral.
Oh.
Collateral. I've never even heard of it.
It's a great film.
Can you give me a genre?
It is a dramatic thriller with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
About an assassin who takes advantage of a cab driver.
Okay. Alright, so we're watching Collateral next.
Great film. My personal favorite Michael Mann film. His masterpiece.
imagine we'll get to that by the end of the week. So
yeah, and I think you'll appreciate this movie. It's very good.
okay.
I think you'll like this one.
So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share.
Yep. Also, check out Jay versus Horror. I'm about to do another.
Jay.
Yep. Shout out to Jay. I'm about to do. Gonna be recording another Video Nasty Nightmares episode on Saturday. If you haven't seen the first episode, go to Jay versus Horror on his channel and check out the first one. We had a lot of fun doing that, and got this other one coming up on Saturday. And tomorrow I should be doing another Horror Showdown episode, which is the list I have deliberated most on, and I am most proud of and most excited for. So.
And thank you to our followers, because we've got like 30 followers now, which I thought we'd have like goose egg, 0 followers. So I'm excited.
All.
Thanks. Yeah, we appreciate it. And
all of you. We love you all. All 30 of you.
Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.